Good morning, Michelle. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Nirvana?
I can't complain. Well, today we are going to be chatting to Michelle McClunan, and she is a life coach and an astrologer. And she's going to talk to us about navigating the journey to yourself and how important is that during what I call hashtag lockdown and love in the lockdown. Can you tell us, first of all, before a little bit about yourself, Michelle McClunan? So tell us a little bit about you connecting, with your journey and how did you come to do this?
Sure. Well, I've been using astrology as a tool for about 20 years now. I studied it 20 years ago, um, and have been basically counseling and helping people with their astrology charts ever since. And what I really do, Nirvana, is I combine astrology with life coaching. So for me, it's an excellent tool to help somebody to navigate their lives, because really that's what astrology is. It's the study of energy, and we are energetic beings. So we respond to what's going on in the planets and in the cosmos, and the cosmos responds to us. So when we're able to understand how outer planets are behaving and what it's actually mirroring in us, then we're better able to actually navigate that. So we each have a natal chart or a birth chart, and I always start with that as a full birth chart reading, and then we do updates every year to see where the planets are impacting or affecting your chart. So that's
Fantastic.
basically just to give you a bit of a summation. Yeah.
Yes. So with that said, what's happening? What's happening with this planet at the moment? It is huge. And I just have to say, I'm a huge conspiracy realist. So I don't just listen to what's on mainstream media. And I know that there is huge stuff going on. So the floor is yours. Please, can you tell us? And what can we do during this time now?
Okay. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to basically jump right in, because obviously we're all in this together. But this is a major global shift. And like you, I don't just stick to the mainstream media. So obviously I look at everything else as well. And then I think it's very important that we all make our own, connect with what's true for us. I think that's very important at this time. But astrologers across the world, myself included, have been seeing this coming. We didn't know exactly what it was going to be, but I did a series of talks last year from May, I think it was last year, on navigating the winds of change, because we could see what was coming in January. A lot of people thought it was a world war or an atomic bomb, but it was going to be something. And the reason why, to not go into too much astrology, because it actually gets a bit confusing for people who don't know about astrology. A lot of people see astrology as just your sun sign. And obviously, as you know, you're much more than your sun sign. So when we look at a natal chart, we look at the sun, the moon, Mars, Venus, your rising sign, and all the planets. And the way those planets interact gives you your blueprint.
Mm.
So what's happening now globally is that every 38 years, we have all the different planets have different cycles. And Saturn and Pluto have very different cycles, but they're very important planets.
Yep.
Saturn has a 29-year cycle, around about a 29-30-year cycle. It's connected with our maturing cycle. So 28, 29, you have your Saturn return, which is always big. And then when you're 59, 58, 59, you have your second one, which I'm going through, which is quite something. And it's a reassessment. It's often a turning point. It's often where you're cutting out stuff that you don't need. So that'll happen at 7, 14, 21, 28, and then keep going through your life. So it's connected with the 7-year itch. Now, Pluto's got a much, much longer cycle. It takes about 240 years or so to go through. And the two planets come together once every 37 to 38 years. And it's huge. And this is what we've actually been seeing, not only because those two are coming together, but in the last week, we've seen Jupiter join the party and Mars join the party. So what actually happens is there's almost like an implosion of energy. If we look at Saturn and Pluto to start with, and this will be felt very much more for people who have got cardinal signs quite apparent in their charts. So when I say cardinal, I'm talking about Cancer, Aries, Capricorn, Libra. Because these planets have come together in Capricorn, they are impacting on people who have their charts with those points being triggered. But having said that, this is impacting all of us because
in
it's
which
global.
way? In which way? Would
So
you say
I'm going to tell you now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So basically, what the energy of the two means is Saturn is the planet of maturity. It rules earthy structural systems. It rules things like governments, banking systems, limitations, restrictions. It's the planet of reassessment. It rules form. So anything that is form is ruled by Saturn. Pluto, I see Pluto as the planet that's related to transformation, death, rebirth, regeneration. It's deep, it's intense, it takes no prisoners. It's kind of like, I almost see it as the plumber of the zodiac. So it goes underneath the surface and it sucks up whatever is impinging on our growth, and it clears whatever needs to be cleared. So when somebody has a Pluto transit, that in itself is very transformational. When the two come together, it's kind of implosive. So what it says, and what we've all seen coming, is the collapse of structure. It's basically, it depicts a societal change, a fundamental change, where systems that are outmoded and false are crumbling. That's actually what's happening. So whether it's the coronavirus, whether that's the trigger, this has got a universal element to it.
Yeah.
Because it was predicted to a degree. So astrology for me has shown me that life's not random. That's the one thing I know for a fact. So when we see something like this happening, before it happens, we know that this is actually, there's something much bigger at play here. And it almost feels, well, not almost feels, but it's like a collective, it's like we've been collectively yearning to awaken and restore ourselves as a planet, as a people, as humanity. And this is the point of that. So if you look at it energetically, it's basically forcing everybody to stop. And it's forcing us to actually go deeper than we have before in our spiritual evolution. So it might not be very comfortable for our physical bodies that are, that need money and need work and need exercise and need social activity. It's not easy. And because it's not easy, it's squeezing us. And because it's squeezing us, it's kind of saying, okay, go deeper. Because if you get your sense of security from the job, the house, the money in the bank, well, those things are uncertain. So you've got to go inside. So it's actually kind of pushing us to go inside, to be quiet, to transform what we need to transform. So I know that gives you a little bit more. Personally, we are feeling this on a very deep level because when we quieten down and we let go of some of the distractions, we feel those fears more. We feel our energy more. So a lot of people are going through a crisis where they're actually, all these feelings are coming up and they're overwhelming.
Yeah.
So really what I'm saying to myself and to my clients is feel the feelings because they need to be felt, that they can be cleared and understood possibly. So if fear comes up at this time, see if you can just breathe and feel the fear. Feel it. Don't medicate it away with busyness or whatever you use. We all have our own little things that we use. See if you can just stay with it for a few moments and then return to presence, to what's happening in your body, what you can smell, what you can taste, what you can feel. Use this time to go deeper. Use this time to really start a spiritual practice. If you've been meaning to do that and haven't done it, this is the time. Because this is an internal shift.
Exactly. Yeah. So I just got a couple of things to ask you because of a lot of other influences that I am going down the rabbit hole for, and things like
Yes.
5G, which are affecting us. Definitely, this is a fear war to keep people in fear, and which is causing the breaking down of the immune system, so to speak, called coronavirus. And then the third thing for me is, and then I've done so much research on this and over many years, and also have seen this coming, and I call it the dark hats and the white hats. And so the dark hat is the old cabal, the people with the 1%ers who've been controlling everything, and they have been working about this this one world for many years. It actually started in Russia and before that. And so my question to you as a planetary person, because I also am knowing that there's more than just people, but the planets that's influencing them, or the outside cosmos or influences, energetics that's influencing this whole thing. There is a psychological thing happening. How can you kind of filter through all of that and say it's just the planetary astrology? Because my mind is going, I think there's more to it.
There's never just one thing. So as I said before, the planets don't cause anything to happen. The planets respond to what's happening, and we respond to them. Yeah. It's the law of correspondences.
Yeah.
So it's not like Pluto and Saturn are making this happen. This was going to happen. But there's a greater intelligence that lives amongst us, that breathes us, that sends the blood from our toe to our finger. So that intelligence somehow is connected with that. And yes, I've also read all about the 5G and the aliens and the cabal. And obviously we all have our own stuff that we look at. And I think it's very important that everybody finds their own truth. But I think that more important than that is that this is an inside job. So no matter what's happening on the outside, and yes, for some of us it helps to understand that to the degree that we can understand it. I think there's a lot that we actually can't understand.
Yeah.
And maybe this will come out in the future, and maybe it won't. So what we need to deal with now is what we're dealing with now, which is basically the fight, if you like, between fear and love.
Absolutely.
And when we're in fear, we are not in love. And our natural state is love. Love is obviously what eradicates, love and light is what eradicates the darkness. So rather than fighting the dark, you don't need to sweep dark out of a room, you just need to light a candle. So I think that the more that we can stay centered, the more that we can actually return to a place of presence, acceptance to a degree, because the suffering comes when we actually say, this shouldn't be like this. I shouldn't be confined to my home. I shouldn't be able to not earn a living. I shouldn't be able to not see my family. That's where the suffering comes from. Yeah. You fall into a place of acceptance that automatically connects you with the light and with your spirit. Absolutely. And I believe that if there's anything we can do as a collective, and the people that are watching this are obviously on a journey to awakening, otherwise they wouldn't be watching it.
Yep.
It's our time to actually stand together and say, okay, let's stand in the light. No matter where this darkness comes from, because none of us actually know. We can surmise, we can read, we can listen. It's all great, but none of us know. The only thing we know is that what's true for us. And what's happening astrologically, I don't know how much time we've got, but what's happening astrologically as well is Pluto has come in to this alignment. So Pluto right now, as we speak, Pluto and Saturn, Pluto and Jupiter are right next to each other at the same degree. Now Pluto is the planet which rules your ascendant. It rules Sagittarius. I also got a Sag ascendant and moon. So Jupiter, rules Sagittarius. So right. Jupiter is all about truth, higher learning, finding out what's really going on. And so when the two of them come together, it might be that we actually find that we have a discovery inside ourselves of what the truth is. Or maybe something comes to light in the next few days. So that conjunction is becoming exact on the 4th and 5th. So it depends on where you live. In South Africa, it's early hours of the 4th, and there's a global meditation at 4:30 in the morning for us all to actually ignite the light, because a lot of people are seeing this as a portal of light.
Yes.
So if anybody's watching this and anybody's, keen to join in, because we're all in this together, 4:30 on Sunday morning.
4:30 South African time. We will all be doing a meditation, and just to conclude from my side, and then I'll give you 30 seconds to wrap up on your side, is that this is the most important thing, is to be in meditation. I have to tell myself that all the time, be in the present. This is part of why I'm doing this. It's giving me great pleasure, because it takes my mind off going down the rabbit hole and just following that little virus, that fear virus, if I can call it that. So although I'm not in fear when I do, but it does then affect my subconscious, in a way. So yes, very important. Please join us at 4:30 on Sunday morning, South African time, for a global meditation. This is how we go through this, is through being still and being in center. And so with that, please, Michelle, if you can give us something, a nugget to end off this chat.
Yes. I would just say, be gentle with yourself. Go into presence as often as you can during the day. Pause between things that you're doing. Be slow. Be mindful. If you're washing the dishes, wash the dishes. Bring your mind back to the present as often as you can, and be careful what you feed yourself with. So whether that's media, whether it's whatever you're actually physically feeding yourself, just see this as a cleansing, see this as a centering. And just know that, the word cosmos actually means disorder. So it's in all chaos, there is a cosmos. In all disorder, a secret order. And that was said by Carl Jung.
Yes.
So even though this feels chaotic on the surface of form, on the level of form, there is an order in it. And I think that we have to just trust that there's an order in this.
And there's definitely a stillness, because I'm so aware of how quiet everything is. It's just so still. There's all that crazy, but there's the stillness. So Michelle, people can get hold of you through the Body and Mind website, which is www.bodyandmind.co.za, and they can find your page on there, Michelle McClunan, and I got that right. And also, if you could give us your social media page, your website, people can talk to you through this media, which is Zoom or Skype, and have a chat with you, if they want more information for their personal journey. So can you give us those information, please?
Sure. So I'm on Michelle McClunan, so just my name. That's Facebook, and then Michelle McClunan Life Navigator is my page. And I am doing quite a lot of live calls with my partner John. Him and I are both doing some live calls to support people during this time, free calls. We're having one tonight, one on Sunday night. So you can just go onto my page and you'll see the details there, and reach out if you need help. You need guidance to just navigate this.
Wonderful.
I'm here.
Wonderful. It was so nice to chat to you and get to know you when all of this is lifted and we can get rid of the social distancing. It would be nice to connect with you. We're both in Cape Town. I love my background. I got Kirsten Bosch background, so it feels like I'm out and about. Cool. Michelle, have a wonderful rest of the day, and we'll connect with you again sometime.
Super. Thanks so much, Nirvana. Really nice to chat to you.
And you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.